What should I be asking to have checked at my 6 or 8 week checkup? I get asked this question a lot by the mums that I work with that are looking to get back into their exercise after they've had a baby. If you don't know me, I'm Maritza Lindsay. I'm a personal trainer and postnatal corrective exercise specialist, which means that I help mums re-establish contact with their core and pelvic floor muscles after birth. Now, this 6-week doctor's checkup, it might be 6 weeks or it might be 8 weeks. This is your time to ask all those questions and make sure that you are healing well after having a baby. The birth process can be quite traumatic for your core and pelvic floor muscles, so if you have any concerns, this is the time to bring them up. Oftentimes, these appointments can be quite shallow, where a doctor will simply ask you, how are you feeling? Are you okay? And you can say yes, or you can say no. They say, do you have any signs of postnatal depression? Yes or no. And if everything that is fine and you say, yes, I'm fine, I'm not feeling depressed, then they'll say, all right, you're fine to go back to exercise, off you go, you're cleared from the birth process. Now, this is a little bit less than what most mums need. If you have had any tearing or stitches with an episiotomy, then you want to make sure that somebody has their eyes on that scar or those stitches, just to make sure that there is no redness or signs of infection, that everything is actually healing well. If they just ask you, if you haven't actually had a look yourself, then you don't know either. So somebody should check your scar and make sure that it is healing well. This is also true if you've had a cesarean section. You want to make sure that they check not just the outside of the scar, that is all healing well and there's no redness or puffiness, but also hopefully you'll have a gynecologist or somebody that will check inside you to make sure that everything is looking good all the way through, because they have cut right through into your uterus. We want to make sure that all of those layers of stitches and everything is looking good. Okay, obviously they're not going to go up inside your uterus, but oftentimes they will take an internal exam to make sure that that feels okay as well. We also want to mention if you are having any feelings of heaviness in your pelvic floor. Oftentimes mums say that they feel like they're losing a tampon or something like that, and that feeling of heaviness or something pushing down, or just a feeling of things still not being quite right, might be a sign of pelvic organ prolapse. Now, this is something that might need to be sent on to a specialist to have checked, but if you don't mention it, then you will not get that help, and you'll be left thinking that this might just clear up by itself, and then it doesn't. Or it might be something that you don't need to worry about and it is fine. But it's best to mention it and say, can you please send me to a specialist to have this checked out? We also want to mention if you're having any return of heavy bleeding. So if things have tapered off and then you start bleeding, red bleeding again, then that is something to mention as well. You can also ask them if they can please check you to see if you have a diastasis or abdominal separation. Okay, not all of them are trained in how to do this. You might have a doctor or you might have a midwife, and depending on who you see, they may be able to help you with this or not, but you can at least have it on your list of questions and things that you want to talk about when you go in. It is really best that you are proactive and you have a list of things that you want to talk through, concerns that you want to address, and you check those off with your healthcare provider. Don't expect them to necessarily know exactly what it is that you need. Okay, so be proactive. Ask those questions, anything that you're wondering about. This is your time to get your health clearance that you are healing well from childbirth. Okay, so make sure you're proactive, take a list of questions, and I hope that this has helped.